Coming to you from deep inside the bowels of a great big empty. Get ready for another episode of The Home Defense Show with Skip Coryell.
And that was Golden Glenn, the official announcer of the Home Defense Show, and I'm your host, Skip Coryell, author of 22 books, Marine Corps veteran, founder of the Second Amendment March, proud father of 7, grandfather to 19 and counting. And as a special bonus, I'm also madly in love with my own wife. My priorities in life are God, family, and country, in that order, and I hereby promise to never compromise in my convictions. I may go broke, but I'll never go woke. And joining me today, as always, my faithful co-host and adoring wife, Sara Coryell. Sara, you and I watched the inauguration of President Trump. How do you feel about having a new president?
I am delighted to have a new president and to have this new president. I'm very excited about what he's going to do and his new administration and all his ideas, and that they don't seem to be just talk but action. I'm very, very hopeful.
I've been waiting for 4 years.
Yes, you have.
Do you remember, in 2020, in November, when he lost the election, we were really bummed about that. We really were. And then there was the January 6th, quote unquote, insurrection.
Yeah.
Boy, I was really bummed. I mean, I wasn't thrown into deep depression like a lot of the liberals are right now. I mean, a lot of them are just dysfunctional or hysterical. I remember I was angry because I really believed that the election had been stolen. And I still believe that. It's just that I've gotten over the anger.
Yeah. I'm sure the election was stolen too. There was just too many facts supporting that.
Well, but now let the good times roll.
Justice, I hope.
Yes. Yeah, justice would be nice. More importantly, though, I would really like our nation to heal, to get back on the right track. And boy, Trump, he came out, with, guns blazing, so to speak, and just did all kinds of very bold things.
Those pins after he signed his...
Oh, yeah, the executive orders, 200 on the first day, totally shut down the border. He really is going to, deport maybe millions. He's on the way, starting with the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Talking about getting back the Panama Canal, Greenland as the 51st state. He's also negotiating with Canada now to reopen the Keystone Pipeline, which would be good for us. I don't like this, like $3.50 a gallon gas. I liked it better when it was like $1.89.
Yeah, I can remember when it was 99 cents. Yeah.
Oh, well, Sara, I'm a little older than you. My grandfather had a gas station right across the road from my house. And when he finally shut that gas station down after like 50 years, there was a sign on it. They would always write on a sign in like chalk the gallon price. And at the time that he closed it down, which would have been, probably the late 60s, something like that, gas was 32 cents a gallon.
Wow, it's really steep.
And I remember after I got my driver's license, when I turned 18, by then it was Jimmy Carter, and they had the Iran hostage crisis, and the price of gas shot up to 50 cents a gallon. And everyone was appalled at 50 cents a gallon.
Well, that's a huge percent increase, right?
Well, yeah, but now it's like, man, it got up to $5 a gallon there for a while. So, hey, I am exuberant to have Donald Trump back in the White House. Well, Sara, what do we have on the show today?
Well, Skip, today we are talking to best-selling author and acclaimed artist Doug Giles all about his new book, The Trump Collection. Then, in the shootingclasses.com self-defense report, we will be speaking with a surprise firearms instructor about an unusual home invasion in Eureka, California.
But before we get too far into the show, Let's thank our sponsors, United States Concealed Carry Association, shootingclasses.com, and Center Shot Indoor Gun Range. All right, Sarah, we've got an article, a news article today. Go ahead and tell us what's in the news.
Trump commutes sentences of January 6th extremist group leaders. Tarrio gets pardon. President Trump commuted the sentences of Oath Keepers and Proud Boys leaders convicted of sedition in connection with the January 6, 2021 Capitol attack. But Enrique Tarrio, former national chair of the Proud Boys, received a full pardon. Trump commuted the sentences of all January 6th defendants convicted of plotting to forcibly halt the certification of the 2020 presidential election, including Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes, to time served. He also commuted the sentences of other Proud Boys and Oath Keepers leaders who had been acquitted of sedition. Tarrio, however, was granted a full, complete, and unconditional pardon, alongside roughly 1,500 other January 6 defendants. He is currently serving a 22-year prison term, the longest handed down in connection with the Capitol attack. But his attorney told The Hill he's being processed out of prison. The pardons mark a sharp rebuke of the Justice Department's sweeping January 6 probe, as the sedition convictions of the right-wing extremist groups were the crown jewels of a prosecution hailed as one of the largest, most complex, and most resource-intensive investigations in the agency's history. Trump long vowed to grant clemency to those who descended on the Capitol as Congress certified the 2020 election win of his Democratic opponent, former President Biden, describing them on the campaign trail as political prisoners. However, he largely remained mum on the scope of his planned clemency moves, making the sentence commutations of the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers members somewhat of a surprise. James Lee Bright, an attorney for Rhodes, said over text that they are deeply thankful to Trump and his team for the sentence commutation, but ultimately believe the Oath Keepers founder will later be pardoned or successful in his appeal of the sedition conviction. Trump also ordered his Justice Department to take steps to throw out all pending indictments against January 6 defendants whose cases have not yet been fully adjudicated, a decision that would shut down roughly 470 ongoing cases.
All right, Sarah, I've got a little bit of backstory on that. I happen to personally know the founder of Oath Keepers. His name is Stuart Rhodes. I met him back in January 2010 in Las Vegas at the SHOT Show. That's when I was organizing the Second Amendment March on Washington, D.C. He was one of the speakers there, and I can tell you, we had breakfast when I first met him. And then I spent a weekend with him in New Hampshire at the Live Free or Die rally. And then after that, we were at the Second Amendment March in Washington, D.C. And I can tell you, the guy is not a traitor to his country. He is an incredible patriot. I never saw or heard anything from him that would lead me to believe that he would organize an insurrection on the D.C. Capitol. He would not do that. So that's a bunch of hooey. As far as the Proud Boys go, they've been at the Second Amendment rally in Lansing at the state capitol a couple of times. They are loud. They are proud. They're rowdy. But I saw nothing to lead me to believe that they were out for any overthrow of the government or anything like that. I understand why, Joe Biden doesn't like them, but he doesn't like me either. So that makes us all even, So, hey, Proud Boys, all the J6 people, the Oath Keepers, I'm glad they got out. I think they were wrongfully prosecuted, wrongfully imprisoned, and I think you're going to see some lawsuits against the Department of Justice over the next year or so.
It earned some lawsuits.
And they're going to get some justice. Yeah. A little bit of legal payback, I think. And now it's time for our home defense show, Hero of the Week. Who is our hero this week, Sarah?
Well, there was a child rescued from a neighborhood pond off Bass Road. An 8-year-old child was rescued from a neighborhood pond by Allen County Sheriff's Department officers and the Fort Wayne Fire Department water rescue team on Sunday afternoon. Calls for the water rescue located in the 1100 block of Mayrock Drive came in just before 12:30 p.m. A public information officer for DNR in District 2 told WANE 15 that upon arrival, the Fort Wayne Fire Department water rescue teams recovered one child from the water. They were taken to an area hospital in critical condition. According to a release from the Indiana DNR, two boys were playing by the neighborhood pond when one of the boys, an 8-year-old, fell through the ice. The other boy attempted to help him out of the water and fell through the ice himself. The boy, who had attempted to help his friend, was able to rescue himself and seek help. He found the father of the 8-year-old boy that had fallen in. The father went out into the chest-deep water searching for his son, but could not find him. Divers with the Fort Wayne Fire Department found the boy and pulled him out of the water at 1 p.m. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. A DNR officer told WANE 15 that the other boy is doing all right and that the father was checked for hypothermia. WANE 15 crew at the scene saw Allen County Sheriff's officers' vehicles alongside the Fort Wayne Fire Department Water Rescue and the West Central Fire District vehicles.
All right, we've got quite a few heroes in that story.
Yes, we do.
Normally it's just like one guy rushes in, saves the day. But man, we had a lot of heroes there. I mean, what, 8-year-old boy?
Yeah.
You know, his friend was drowning. He went into the water under the ice. That had to be scary.
Yeah.
But then he realized, hey, I'm not going to save this kid.
Right.
So he ran and he got the boy's father. The father came back. He didn't hesitate. He ran right down into the water, realized I'm not going to find my son. By then, the police and the rescue people had arrived, but man, it was over a half hour before they got there.
Yeah.
But that boy survived under the water.
Maybe he was so cold. Do you know?
Yeah, I've heard of this happening before. It's like when your body gets that cold, your brain kind of shuts down. The oxygen to your brain shuts down, and you're on ice. And so, your brain cells don't die as quickly. So,
Amazing.
But hey, the firefighters, the divers, they were able to rescue this boy. So there in Allen County, Indiana. Oh man, good job.
Great work.
The whole community.
Yeah. That was
good
beautiful,
job.
Beautiful, loving community work.
All right. Well, we've got a big show coming up, Sarah. What's coming up next?
Next, we are talking to best-selling author and acclaimed artist Doug Giles, all about his new book, The Trump Collection. Then, in the shootingclasses.com self-defense report, we'll be speaking with a surprise firearms instructor all about an unusual home invasion in Eureka, California.
In the meantime, God bless and stay safe, because we will be right back.
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
At Center Shot Gun Range, we are passionate about training. Don't know where to start? We offer a 1-hour new shooter seminar to introduce you to the world of firearms and help you find training opportunities specific to you. Concealed carry, home defense, firearm safety, AR-15, private one-on-one training, custom training, or maybe you're on a security team looking to protect your church or business. We even offer weekday morning and evening classes. Center Shot Gun Range has you covered. Start your journey at centershotgunrange.com.
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
The mere sound of his voice makes women swoon and men storm the gates of hell. Welcome back to the Home Defense Show with Skip Coryell.
And that was the beautiful and sultry voice of Golden Glenn, the official announcer of the Home Defense Show. Folks, we live in a dangerous world, and I want you to be able to protect and defend the ones you love. And that's why I have this show. It's my way of empowering you to accomplish one of your primary jobs in life. You are a protector and a defender. All right, listeners, before we get too far into the show, don't forget to check out our sponsors, United States Concealed Carry Association, shootingclasses.com, and Center Shot Indoor Gun Range for all your training and equipment needs. Without our sponsors, this show wouldn't be on the air, so we thank you all. And now I want to welcome a good friend of mine, a longtime friend, back to the show. He's best-selling author and acclaimed artist, Doug Giles. Doug, welcome back to the Home Defense Show.
Skip, how you doing, big dog?
I'm doing pretty good, especially, after the inauguration.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just me, paranoia or whatever, but I just found myself thinking, Donald, I want you to stay undercover until you're inaugurated and you can sign all those executive orders, because after so many assassination attempts, I'm thinking, let's just get this guy in office and get his pen going.
Yeah, it was a great day yesterday, man. And I tell you, I was sitting there reflecting on it this morning, into all the evangelical doom and gloomers, like, oh, he's not going to be elected, Kamala's going to take over, the devil's going to be running this country. You were wrong. And prayer works. And we saw it big time, because the left, they threw everything at him in addition to a 55 grain 223 round, and nothing stuck. And we saw common sense, traditional values, Constitution, Bill of Rights, and Declaration of Independence get pushed through in an overwhelming fashion. In the inauguration, man, I was watching it with my wife. Just looked over to her, and I wasn't boo-hooing, but I did have a tear in the eye, Skip.
Yeah.
It's great to see excellence and elegance and beauty instead of freak, trans, overt, down your throat, weird garbage from hell shoved into your faces. It's great to hear Lee Greenwood sing "I'm Proud to Be an American." It's great to see Carrie Underwood beautifully sing "America the Beautiful." Godliness is in Christianity being platformed again instead of spit on and denigrated. Then you got the fun factor with Trump up there with the village people.
Yes.
doing the Trump dance, and then the honorable honoring of the hostages, Corey Compatore, who was killed in the assassination attempt there in Butler, Pennsylvania. And then just the promises: we are going to crush wokeism, DEI, open borders, drug cartels are going to be deemed terrorists, and we're going to crank up our oil production and drill, baby, drill. It was just overwhelming, man. And I'm telling you, I was just so thankful to God, thankful to guys like you, other people that have been in the trenches, aside from the Trump family, really fighting against this garbage and wanting to make America great again. And God answered our prayers, man. And very, very grateful, very thankful.
Yeah, Sarah and I, we were watching everything. I think I watched for like 5 or 6 hours yesterday. And my kids, I have 3 teenagers, they're all homeschooled. And, basically that was homeschool yesterday. It was a civics lesson. It was history in the making. We had a great time. It was awesome.
No, absolutely. Hopefully, they will never have to see something like that again, and that Trump and JD will truly, and we the people will really keep our nation on track like we should. But yes, absolutely, man. That was historical, and they should have been plopped down right in front of that television, taking in the big old eyeful of that MAGA enriched inauguration yesterday.
Yeah, it was great. Doug, I'm excited about America now. I'm excited about a lot of things. One thing that I'm particularly excited about is your latest book. Tell us about this latest book that you just had come out, on day before Inauguration Day?
Yeah, so it's Giles Volume 2, the Trump Collection, and it's a compilation of 40 plus oil paintings that I did of DJT. I'm talking number 45 and 47, the golden comb over one. And I don't depict Trump as there's other Trump artists out there that every painting of him, he's just serious and he's like sullen or vexed. I don't see Trump like that at all. I see him as hilarious.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, he's serious, but man, from a comedic standpoint, that guy just busts the chops of all the bad actors out there. And so I depict him as the overcomer. I depict him as cheerful, as in your face, as finger flying, gravity defying commander in chief. And I've got 40 different paintings of Trump in this book, full color, full attitude, coffee table size. And listen, man, if your listeners, if they dig Trump and what he's done for this nation, this is a great addition to your library. It's funny crap. And we end it with several Trump quotes that will just make you laugh out loud. It's a cool piece, man. I know I did it and stuff, but it's a cool piece. Again, if you're MAGA people, you're going to like this compendium of 40 Trump paintings, the Trump collection.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking it's a good thing to have on your coffee table. If for no other reason, it's like crazy, wacko, liberal repellent. I mean,
Yeah,
people, I mean, if you've got, people that you really don't like, but they come over and they're trash talking you all the time because you're a conservative, they're diametrically opposed to everything that you love and believe in. Put a copy of this on your coffee table, and they may not want to come over anymore because it's like making the sign of the cross in front of the devil. It's an
yeah.
awesome book.
Yeah, it'll definitely ward off your liberal aunt, the one that has the mustache. And
Yes, that's right.
yeah, it's a celebration of what Trump has brought to the table, and how in his first term he kicked all the right major backside. And the second term, oh my gosh, Skip, I can't even imagine if he gets a fraction of what he alluded to and made very clear yesterday in the inauguration done. We're going to be sitting pretty, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So the images I got one of Trump as the garbage king, and he's poking his head out of the garbage truck. One of my favorite ones also is the Trump dance, bro. And I don't know if you saw him yesterday when he was doing the Trump dance with the sword uh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
to YMCA. What what president does that? It's been so much fun to watch him, and like I said, in my paintings, I depict him as there's some serious paintings, but I'm looking at the one right now of him as Deadpool, and he's
Mm.
doing the little heart sign in front of his chest, and he's got that Cheshire cat grin on his face, and it's just delightful, man. I had a buddy of mine that is real close with Trump and his team there in DC, and he bought $800 worth of the Trump Deadpool painting. He bought $800 worth of coffee mugs with that
Oh,
image and sent it to Trump's staff prior to the
oh,
election.
that's
Yeah.
cool. That's really cool. There
It
are
was,
so many pictures in that book that you painted that are just incredible. I like the Dirty Harry picture that you drew of him. That's pretty good too.
yeah, go ahead and make my day. The one that I like, and I still have the original. So I think I only have like five originals left, and I hung on to this one because I wanted to see, what's going to go down when this Trump book, this collection of my artwork really starts getting out there. I've got Trump in his trophy room, and behind him is Pelosi's head on the wall, Biden's head on the wall, and Harris's head on the wall. And Trump is sitting in this English wingback chair with a red vest on, the glass of scotch in one hand and his thumb up on the other hand, and he's wearing green knickers, Argyle socks, and Doc Marten boots.
Yes. Yeah, that is they're all so good. I showed it to even some small children, when I got the proof copy. I'm showing it to my kids. I'm showing it to, a few of my relatives. I did not find anyone who didn't laugh and just think it was incredible. Now, granted, I don't have a lot of liberal friends, but
Right.
if a liberal had a sense of humor, they would smile and laugh at this book because it really is entertaining.
Yeah, Don Jr. weighed in on Instagram. He follows me, and we chat ever so often over there on the gram. And he saw the painting I did of President Trump kneeling behind a donkey he just shot on safari. That's painted red, white, and blue. And he goes, Giles, this is your painting, right? And I go, yep, that's mine. And he goes, that is fantastic. And not only did Trump successfully smoke the Democrat donkey on safari, I've got a painting I did of him kneeling next to a red, white, and blue rhino that he dropped, and obviously stand representing Republicans in name only. And then I have him next to an elephant because I didn't want to leave the GOP out, because he also terminated a lot of their bull crap. And he
Yeah.
did that specifically on Super Tuesday of 2024, where he unseated little persnickety Nikki Haley, and the presumptive or the official nominee for those who like this thing called America. And I've got him. So 3 safari paintings. Also him uh, holding up the Twitter bird upside down, wearing a red and black checkered hunting shirt. And he crushed Twitter. And then Elon came along and just finished it off. And these are some powerful things and images. And it's done in a cheeky Mad Magazine type of way. And like you said, man, it's just it's one happy image after another.
Well, Doug, this book, a copy of this book, belongs in the Oval Office, right,
Yeah,
right
it's
on the desk.
Yeah, so Don Jr. gave me his address, and I'm going to send one to President Trump and Melania signed, and Don obviously will get one. Eric and Laura will get one, and Ivanka and Jared and Tiffany. Yeah, I'll throw one in to Barron too. He'll probably laugh his ass off when he starts going through it.
Yeah.
See him go over and talk to Biden after the inauguration.
Oh, no, I didn't catch that. What happened?
Yeah, so Barron goes over there, and he's like 9 feet tall, so he leans
Yeah.
down, sticks his hand out to shake Biden's hand, and he whispers something to him. And the camera angle from the crowd that's on Biden's face, whatever Barron said to him, I have no idea. The lip readers can't pick it up, and Barron's not talking yet. But whatever he said to Biden, his whole countenance just dropped. I mean, just
Mm.
absolutely, you know, there's speculation that he said you should have pardoned yourself because we're coming after you. Uh, yeah,
Well,
so the Trump family will get these books, and
good.
yeah,
Well, Doug, I have mixed feelings about this whole, the preemptive pardons that Joe Biden did. I,
uh,
I, j- I like justice. I like people criminals to get what they deserve. But my sense of right and wrong is ruffled right now. And my belief is Donald Trump would be totally justified, morally justified in going after everyone who went after him. But I think he's trying to balance that with, okay, what is best for the country right now? Because things are really screwed up, not just the country, but the whole world. What's your take on that?
yeah. It again, the place is lit. That's how Biden and Harris have left, the planet, United States in particular. I think Trump, head down, focus, just like he's been saying lately, success will be my greatest revenge, and let Bondi take care of it. That's Pam's
Oh,
job. She's the new AG, or going to be the new AG. if they've committed crimes, which they have, if they've peddled influence, it's not like, well, let's just blow it off. I mean, Tony Bobulinski and all of his testimony about what they did with Burisma, and what, Fauci and all these guys really damaged our country, and Fauci in particular damaged, the planet in a mass murderous type way. How do they get to skate? And
Yeah, it's not
Fauci,
right. But Doug, your book is a ray of sunshine over all of this. And
yeah, I got
man,
my painting of Melania at the very end of the book. I mean, what an elegant, beautiful woman. And it's just, just to see the whole Trump family, it's like finally something that's just beautiful, pretty, and normal. I am
yes.
just so sick of the freak fest that the left has become, you know. I mean,
Yep.
I guarantee if John Kennedy and Jackie were around, they would despise what the left has become. They weren't
Yeah,
like that, it's just garbage. It's absolute garbage.
you're right. Doug, we're out of time now, but people need to get this book in their hands. Where can they go?
Yeah, the easiest way is go over to Amazon and type in that search bar, Giles, Giles, Volume 2, the Trump Collection, and boom, skip, up pops the painting of Trump as Deadpool with his little I love you sign. And on the back, we've got Trump surfing a red wave on a board that says CNN sucks. And yeah, give 5 copies for your buddies, especially those people that really work their butts off trying to get Trump in the White House again. They'll love it. Just absolute love it. It's a great gift. Every MAGA home needs one or two. And so Amazon.com, Giles Volume 2, the Trump Collection. Click your mouse, melt your plastic.
It is a must-have book for every conservative home in America. All right, hey, Doug, hey, I want to thank you for your friendship. Thank you for all the service that you've done to our country. Your artwork is great. Your writing is great. It's fantastic. Thank you very much, Doug.
You bet. Stay rowdy, Skip.
All right, this is Skip Coriel on Home Defense Show. Coming up next, we'll get some expert advice on the details of self-defense in our shootingclasses.com self-defense report. All right, folks, during the break, I want you to log into rumble.com and search on the Home Defense Show. I've posted a series of entertaining and educational videos there just for you. Check them out. And don't forget to like, share, and follow. God bless and stay safe, because we will be right back.
Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If this sounds good to you, you sound good to me. And I'd like to help you do those things. Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If you're looking for more excitement in your life, we have nothing to offer you. But if you are a thoughtful, responsible, nonviolent man or woman, we'd love to teach you what to do if something crazy happens. More importantly, we'd like to teach you what not to do. We currently have over 500,000 members. They are doctors and single moms and firemen and grandmothers and veterans and Democrats and Republicans and members of every faith. But the one thing they all have in common is that they know exactly what to do if something crazy happens. When you're with one of our members, you are safe. Our members know how to de-escalate situations. They know how to calm things down. We are the United States Concealed Carry Association. See what we're all about at usconcealedcarry.com.
Discover the little-known backstory of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association at usconcealedcarry.com.
He's no Einstein, but he can read and write and feed himself just like a big boy. Welcome back to the Home Defense Show with Skip Coriel.
And that was the beautiful and sultry voice of Golden Glenn, the official announcer of the Home Defense Show. And I'm your co-host, Sara Coriel. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, USCCA, shootingclasses.com, and CenterShot Indoor Gun Range for all your training and equipment needs. And now it's time for our weekly self-defense report, sponsored by shootingclasses.com. And today we're speaking with a surprise firearms instructor, my incredibly handsome and intelligent husband, Skip Coriel.
You know, I'm glad I wrote that script. I really am.
It was a great script. Out in California, the Eureka Police Department say one person dead and another injured in Eureka altercation appears to be self-defense. One person is dead and another suffered a gunshot wound to the leg after an early morning altercation in Eureka, according to the Eureka Police Department. On May 22nd, around 2:40 a.m., Eureka Police Department officers were dispatched to the 1300 block of West Avenue for a report of multiple subjects involved in an altercation. During the altercation, officials said an occupant of a nearby residence confronted the subjects from his porch and advised them to leave the area. The subjects then confronted the resident and became hostile toward him and entered onto his property, according to EPD Captain Steffens. The resident attempted to use pepper spray to deter the subjects, with no success, as he entered back into his home. At least one subject entered the residence and attempted to assault the resident, according to the EPD. Officials said during the altercation inside the home, the resident fired multiple shots from a handgun, which he had retrieved from inside the residence, striking the subject who was assaulting him. This subject was pronounced deceased at the scene, according to the captain. A second subject who was on the porch was struck in the leg by gunfire, the EPD said. This subject was transported to St. Joseph Hospital for treatment. This injury is believed to be non-life-threatening, Steffens said in a press release. Officers were able to locate and detain everyone who was involved at the scene, including the shooter. The individuals involved in this incident were unknown to one another, according to the EPD. EPD detectives responded to the scene along with evidence technicians and took over the investigation, which is still ongoing. At this point in the investigation, detectives have completed their interviews with everyone who was on scene and involved, according to the police. After completing the interviews and upon initial review of the evidence at the scene, the shooting appears to have been done in self-defense, the EPD said. There are no outstanding suspects at this time, according to EPD Chief Steve Watson. Officials said the lead detectives have conferred with the Humboldt County District Attorney's Office, and based on the investigation, no arrest will be made at this time. The completed report will be forwarded to the DA for review. All right, Skip, break this one down for us. What do you think?
Well, this one is definitely full of action. I like action. I like it more when it's on the television, but, you know, in real life, we've had some action at our house, kind of like that. And it is very stressful. It really, really is. But here in California, people always think that, in California, you can't own a gun, you can't use a gun. Anytime you shoot someone in self-defense, you're going to go to prison. And that's just not the case. I mean, it can happen, especially, like in Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, those really liberal areas. But there's a good portion of California that is conservative, not population-wise, but geographically. Mm-hmm. This guy here, I think he did a really good job. First, he went outside and he tried to reason with these people. I think that was, in retrospect, that was probably a mistake, because you had people out there, they were getting really rowdy, loud, boisterous, and he thought he could just go out and appeal to the better angels of their nature. And with a mob, that's really not true. It seldom works very well. A better idea for him, I think, would have been to just stay in the house, lock his doors, call 911 and say, yeah, we have an unruly mob. They're making too much noise, and please come and check it out. Mm-hmm. And let the police come, and you can watch from your window. Now, I still would have got my gun and watched from inside, just in case they did break in.
But perhaps they wouldn't have noticed him and wouldn't have come into his house.
Yeah. I would have stayed out of sight, out of mind. But he didn't choose to do that. What he did do is he went out onto the porch. He didn't go out unarmed. He had pepper spray with him, and he engaged them in conversation. They approached, and they tried to come up onto his porch. And I can only imagine what they said to each other. Yeah. I'm guessing it was probably some rough language.
Not very polite, I think.
Maybe an argument. Mm-hmm. And when they tried to come up onto his porch, he lit them up with some pepper spray. And then when they didn't stop, he went into his house. Now, pepper spray, it's only effective on 80 to 90% of the general population. And with a mob, maybe you've got 6 people. Chances are at least one of them is not going to be affected by the pepper spray, or he didn't get a good enough dosage of it in his face.
Right.
But he was smart enough to run back into the house. It would have been smarter to run into the house and lock the door. But he didn't do that. He ran into the house, but then he went to get they followed him inside.
Yeah.
He ran to get his firearm. He was able to get to his firearm. And that's what saved him from death or serious bodily injury.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they just would have given him a really good beat down. So maybe only broken bones and stitches and cuts and things like that. But he got to his firearm. And once someone gets inside your house, basically all bets are off. It's go time. And it doesn't matter what state you're in. Okay? They violated castle doctrine law. Once you're inside your home, you are more readily availed the use of deadly force, whether the person breaking in has a gun or a knife or whether he's totally unarmed. The law presumes that if someone comes into your home, especially someone that you don't know, and they come towards you, the law presumes that they are there to do you death or serious bodily injury. That's why he was legally availed the use of deadly force. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just giving you the layman's view here. But it's pretty much like that all across America in one form or another. Marksmanship-wise, he put one guy down and he wounded another. He shot the second guy in the leg. And then the police came and, drew chalk lines, cleaned up the mess, did their investigation. So all in all, I think the guy did a really good job under stress, because when something like that happens, you're not thinking as clearly as you normally would. But all in all, he did a really good job. You can't argue with results.
Right. He's alive and he didn't go to jail.
Yeah, well, and he didn't freeze up.
Yep.
A lot of times people will just freeze up and comply, take their beating, or allow themselves to be killed. This guy didn't do that. He had courage. He had a warrior mindset. He's probably a little wiser now than he was before.
Yeah.
And Sarah, just so that you know, if this ever happens at our house, stay inside.
Yeah.
Make them come to you. I hear this all the time from my students. They'll say things like, well, I'll go out and I'll find out what's going on. Because men like to do that. It's like, we're take charge. What are you doing? Get off my lawn. That's what men are like. But I'm hoping that you're not like that.
Well,
do you change to a different person when I'm not home? You become an angry female pit bull?
I'm more inclined to be curious and see what's going on. Yeah, that might stick my nose in it.
Look out the window. But if there's trouble, hey, you call 911, you get the gun, you get behind cover, you get the kids safe, and you make them come to you. Because once they come through that door, hey, it's go time.
Does this overlap with the squatter story we were discussing last week?
Well, if the laws were better, yes. But the law, they have laws that protect squatters now. So no, it really doesn't. Castle doctrine isn't in effect when it comes to squatters.
Why? What's the difference between?
Well, you're not living in the house. By virtue of the fact they can't squat if you're living in the house. I mean, if someone came up to our front door right now and said, let me in, I'm going to live in your house, we'd call the police, have them hauled away. Okay. But when you vacate your house, someone else moves in, that's a totally different story.
So if you go on vacation and you come back and they've moved into your house.
Yeah, but that's typically not the way it happens. Squatters mostly occur when the house is vacant. Okay. Maybe it's a rental in between tenants, or it's getting ready to be sold or something like that. Good question, though.
Thanks.
All right.
Appreciate your answer. Thank you.
How did I do? Was I sufficient?
Good answer. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I am incredibly intelligent.
You are.
All right.
Says so in the script. Honey, I know you were smart, but this time you've outdone yourself. I think you're the greatest instructor in the world.
Well, Sarah, I would never argue with you over a thing like that. All right, folks, that about wraps it up for this week's show. I've had a good time, and I hope you have too. Please don't forget to thank our sponsors, CenterShot Indoor Gun Range at centershotgunrange.com, shootingclasses.com to help you find the right trainer for your needs, and United States Concealed Carry Association. For all your self-defense needs, go to uscca.com. All right, I've written 20-plus books, and they're all available on Amazon.com in paperback, ebook, and audiobook. This week, check out my 3-book series, The Mad American. It's a novel about the end of the world as we know it, or Teotihuacan if you're a prepper. And I know you're going to love this 3-book series. And if you want training from me in person, then check out Midwest Tactical Training at shootingclasses.com. Please join us again next week for all your home defense needs. In the meantime, God bless and stay safe.
Thank you for joining us this week on The Home Defense Show. Now, get out there and protect the ones you love. We'll see you next week with more of the best.
Bye-bye, boys!
Have fun storming the castle!